Welcome everyone, here I am again bringing you another really cool old school gem for a video presentation. Honda CBR 1000F is for sure a very underrated motorcycle, and surprisingly there isn't much of good quality material about it on YouTube, so I'm hoping you'll appreciate this little video. Okay, so a bit of a history about the 80s CBRs. Honda approached the market with a few variants of the CBR models, mainly offering the 600cc and 1000cc engines, but very rare 400 and 750 variants were also sold at some places around the world. The 1000F was a flagship for obvious reasons and played the role of fastest bike in Honda's lineup in the late 80s. First generation of Hurricane versions was discontinued in 1988, which led to introduction of second generation known as SC24, and that 1989 model is what I'm riding here today. I rode a few somewhat similar bikes in the last few years and was very interested to see and feel what the good old 1000F would feel like. So what were the first impressions? Well, to answer quickly, very positive. When I first walked up to this bike, its color combo and unique paint scheme was just enough to get my heart pumping. What a stunning looking thing. This white, red and blue is such a cracking choice of colors for a motorcycle. Then there was the size of this girl. This is a big bike, and to me it's a good thing because that usually means decent amount of room. I swung my leg over it and I realized that I wasn't wrong. At 6 feet tall I found myself fairly comfortable. Bars were lifted, in fact, by about 2 inches to help with wrist pain, which I found great later in my time spent with this Honda. Suspicion of heavyweight was correct, but it's not something that should discourage you, because as soon as you start moving, this bike feels so much easier to deal with. Cornering was a bit of a surprise too. I was expecting bad manners here, but I was proven wrong. It actually felt fairly planted, and going for roundabouts or medium speed bends was steady without too many nervous situations. You know, the truth is that review and handling capabilities of a 30-year-old motorcycle must always be taken with a bit of consideration. Hence my initial assumption that it will be so bad. But honestly, I can tell you now, it was not. This big girl behaved better than my recently tested VF1000 when it comes to road handling. It also needed less getting used to than my Yamaha GS1000. Brakes felt very good too. Clearly lots of work was put into those brakes to make them perform at their best. You know the usual vagueness of the rear caliper on motorcycles of that age? None of that here. This caliper was actually doing what it's supposed to do. So happy with it. Second generation of CBR 1000 has a decent package of features, making it a good example for everyday use. Although riding position is sporty, it doesn't really take much to make it livable. Simple bar risers, like in this case here, or full ABM yoke kit will give you all the relief you need. Dashboard has the usual clocks and gauges of that era, including fuel level indicator and coolant temperature. Warning lights panel is positioned in a smart way at the top of the dash, making it very visible during the ride. Center stand as standard to help routine maintenance. Steering lock and fuel cap lock still working great without any catching or grinding. That's just pure testament to Honda's quality of build. Large seat to accommodate 2 people and sturdy grab rail for your pillion. Fuel tank holds about 20 liters of juice, and operation of the fuel tap is a doddle even wearing gloves. Aftermarket taller screen worked well on the motorway, and perhaps the stock one is a bit too short. Not sure about that, just assumption as I never actually tried it. Clutch actuation gets done hydraulically, which was seen as a premium feature back in the day. Not a bad package, I must say indeed. CBR 1000F was of course marketed as a performance machine, and this can be seen on the spec sheet. 998cc inline 4 liquid-cooled motor breathes through 16-valve head, equipped with 2 camshafts. AFR is supplied by 38mm Keihin carbs. Honda claimed about 130 horsepower at the crank and top speed of 160 miles per hour. I personally didn't go that far, but engine definitely felt potent, especially at high RPM. To be perfectly honest with you, I was expecting a bit more low-end torque from this engine, but as soon as you've gone over 4000 RPM, things are good. There is enough power for unstressed motorway overtaking or 2-up riding. In the worst case scenario, just drop a gear or even 2 and smash it using full engine's potential. Sitting at about 80 miles per hour, I could see 5000 RPM on the tach in top gear. Average fuel consumption turned out to be just tad over 7 liters per 100 kilometers at motorway speeds. Is it good or bad? I don't know, you be the judge. 6-speed transmission was smooth and pleasant to operate. There's no complaints about the clutch either. In a nutshell, riding the CBR 1000F hard is a pleasure for sure. Acceleration is good and the level of fun this engine provides is nicely enjoyable. Is Honda CBR 1000F a good bike? Well, of course it is. It is, however, not a bike for everyone. You see, it is somewhat on a biggish and heavy side, so perhaps it wouldn't work best as a first ever motorcycle. But this can be said about any sizable motor, really. It's certainly an interesting option for somebody who is looking for a chunk of performance and Japanese quality for not much cash. Mechanically, those bikes are solid, but be aware of the hydraulic camchain tensioner, which requires servicing. It needs to be pulled out and cleaned from old oil gunk to work as designed. If neglected, top-end engine noises will occur. Make sure the bike gets used, as E10 fuel ruins carbs in no time on hibernated motorcycles. And that means a lot of work to get it fixed. My personal moan would be the ridiculous design of the seat latch. Putting this bloody seat back on was annoying the heck out of me. I would also assume that the stock bars are probably way too low and painful to use as everyday commuter, but investing in bar risers could definitely fix it. In a nutshell, what's the best feature of the CBR 1000F? To me, it's the looks. Listen, nostalgic 80s colors are absolutely bomb on this bike, and if you ask me, this bike is already worth buying just to look at it. Beautiful motorcycle indeed. Thanks for watching, till next time.